first ads that I ran were trash. Like the first store that I ever run was trash. Like it took me like $800 to get my first ever sale, and it was I was selling like nail products. I don't know why I went down that route, but I think it was because they were super cheap on AliExpress. I thought to myself, you know what, let me test them out because they're cheap, I can't really go wrong. But no one was really passionate about them, my ads sucked and everything like that. And even going back, if I look like 2 years ago at some of the stuff that I was selling, some of the ads and those kind of things 2 years ago, even those I wouldn't dream about selling and doing those to this day because I know they're not up to the level. I think some people need to understand is that what you create now will not be what you will create in the next 2 to 3 years, but you have to spend time in the trenches before you can even get to where it is you want to be. I didn't know how to edit my videos. The first few videos I edited it myself rather than thinking let me just jump on Fiverr and try and find someone or outsource. At that point I actually learned Premiere Pro myself. Again, they weren't they were really basic, just clips together, but yeah, I just like to stuck in and learn something myself to get a grasp of what it is that needs to be done to a certain level, and then think about either outsourcing it or hiring someone to do it.
Wow, yeah, that makes total sense. I think that's actually like a very important concept that some people, especially nowadays, because there's so many different marketplaces that you can hire people for. There's so many people, so many agencies, so many, everything. I feel like it's super easy to just think, you know what, I'll just hire everything out and then I'll do it. So people don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. So my next question is, for context, you've done like 8 figures plus when it comes to e-commerce and drop shipping. What do you think, let's say starting fresh, right? Like for people literally right now, how would you start over? Like if you had to start over, what would you do? Would you even do drop shipping? Like would you start the same way, or what would you do?
But the game has changed a lot over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've witnessed it. A lot of people have witnessed it. What was working in 2017 and 18, is not going to work now. General stores, that you could slap up with a random logo, random copy and paste like descriptions will not work today, and you will burn through money if you even try and dream of doing that. Same with like spam testing products. Like if you try and do that in 2023, you will just lose money. It doesn't make any sense to do so. Yet people still kind of like preach that I'll just test 10 products a week, you'll be good. But like if you're just testing 10 products a week without no real effort into that, you will just burn money and lose it. So in terms of like back in the day, obviously there wasn't any TikTok organic, and now obviously the power is, I know people still say you can dropship with no money, but realistically you need some form of money to be able to
Right.
dropship. You don't need a lot of money to dropship or to get started, because again, the barriers to entry with getting started is extremely low, especially with TikTok organic. So personally, me, if I was to start from like lose everything tomorrow, I would do is I would first and foremost go and apply for a job. Now, a lot of people don't want to hear that,
Yeah.
but you have to have some sort of money and capital coming in. Now, with that being said, from that, what you would then do is you can use that excess capital to funnel your ads. And again, organic is great, but it's not the be all and end all. And I know organic is great, but first and foremost, it takes a long time to test products, right? To validate them. And second of all, you're a slave to the algorithm because, over time, once algorithms crashed, then alternatively, you can't really scale on them. And you're hoping and praying that algorithm shows it to the right people as well.
Right.
That's another thing with organic. I would start with organic to start off with, but it wouldn't be where I would put all of my focus in. It would literally just be so that I have the starting capital to be able to and have the capital to be able to then run ads. So yes, I would start with organic TikTok dropshipping, find a product. I've got no money, so I'm using my time to create videos, blah, 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 blah. Get some first sales. The margins are great, of course, but then from then, it would be a case of building capital so then I can test more rapidly with
Yeah.
ads. That's what I would do, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece of advice. And also I feel like the ad platforms are actually making it easier. Like especially Meta, for example, now a lot of people are sleeping on it because TikTok is like the latest buzz. But it seems like it just feels easier than ever in terms of actually they're making it more user friendly than before. So if you put in the effort on the creative side of things, like the website side of things, it seems like that's probably where your focus should be, and just like the right product, making sure everything is tidy. So that's really great advice. And I think being a perfectionist probably helped you, or at least somewhat of a perfectionist probably helped you in that way at the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The first ads that I ran were trash. Like the first store that I ever run was trash. Like it took me like $800 to get my first ever sale, and I was selling like nail products. I don't know why I went down that route, but I think it was because they were super cheap on AliExpress. I thought to myself, you know what? Let me test them out because they're cheap. I can't really go wrong. But no one was really passionate about them. My ads sucked and everything like that. And even going back, if I look like 2 years ago at some of the stuff that I was selling, some of the ads and those kind of things 2 years ago, even those I wouldn't dream about selling and doing those to this day because I know they're not up to the level. I think some people need to understand is that what you create now will not be what you will create in the next 2 to 3 years, but you have to spend time in the trenches before you can even get to where it is you want to be.